Well, hello everyone. Welcome to our call. Today is November 17th, Saturday. You're hopefully hosting an event in your locale, and we're coming to you to present some ideas to support your event. We call this the Power 18 Call. Our speakers today is myself, Michael DiMuccio, Royal Diamond with Nikan, living in Toronto, Canada. We had from the United Kingdom, Ben Woodward, Royal Diamond in Nikan, and also Royal Diamond from Florida, Orlando, Florida area, Susan Carver. We're happy to be here. I just want to kick off then today's call with welcoming everyone who is listening, either in the playback or live at the meeting that you're at. It's a pleasure for us to be here and to share with you some of the things that have made a difference in our lives, and specifically Nikan. I was introduced to Nikan at the ripe old age of around 27. I don't know if there's anyone under 30 there in the audience, but if you are, perk up your ears, because this could be a very big turning point for you in your future. And it sure was for me. That was 27 and a half, almost 28 years ago. It's hard to imagine that I've been involved this long, but it's been an incredible journey, which began with a simple idea, a phone call from a colleague of mine who said, I think I might have found something that can help your back. At that time, I'd been suffering from low back problems as a result of a car accident. And I'm talking about low back problems every single day, pain through the threshold. And that was morning, afternoon, and evening, even while I slept. I couldn't do barely anything without aggravating it. I was seeing a physiotherapist, a chiropractor, and a massage therapist every other day. So that was for a year and a half until one day I got that phone call. I went to visit my friend who lived about 10 minutes away. So if you're hearing about Nikan from somebody who is not a medical professional, it's not a surprise. But just the same, that doesn't change the fact that these products actually do what they do. And so what happened in a matter of minutes with my exposure to one of Nikan products on my back didn't hurt. So now I became very curious about the nature of the technology. My background prior to Nikan was aerospace engineering. I graduated from U of T. I was also working as an electrician at the time. And I was also a starving musician trying to make things go in that department. So a little bit of this, a little bit of that, not really finding my way until this door opened. And so with such quick relief, I was very encouraged by the nature of this product, this technology using magnetic energy. I tried it on my father, who was also suffering quite a bit from problems with his sciatica. Same reaction. Within a matter of a day in his case, he felt relief. And so I knew there was something magical about the technology that Nikan was pioneering in the world. And now this originated in Japan, which also fascinated me, because pretty much everything that came out of Japan was something of quality, something of interest, high tech usually. And so here was this major player in prevention, a company I'd never heard of, doing already over $1 billion in business. In fact, they were the fastest company in Japanese history to achieve $1 billion in annual sales. So that's, again, another earmark for this company, and I'd not yet heard of them. So I felt pretty fortunate that I was one of the few people at that time to have heard of this in North America. Well, the company was looking to pioneer its introduction into North America. With that, I made a decision to, throw myself into the ring and start working at it. Well, I did not expect to be here 27 years later, but lots happened. Within a matter of weeks, in fact, first month, I was able to retire from being an electrician. Now, I don't know if that inspires you, but it sure as heck inspired me, because I did not want to be an electrician. It was something I fell into. It was not something I was inspired to be doing for the rest of my life. So I thought Nikan would be sort of a springboard into the life that I really desired, which was a life of purpose, a life of luxury, travel, and so forth, not realizing that Nikan, in fact, would be the vehicle through which I was able to experience all those things. So by helping other people learn about Nikan, other people who were challenged either physically or were looking for an opportunity, this started to snowball beyond anything I could possibly do. And in my first 3 months, I was able to literally set up a business just by word of mouth, telling other people about this, without any business experience, without any sales experience, certainly without any experience where this product was concerned, other than my own personal experience. And then I had a business that was a going concern that here I am today, 27 and a half years later, still receiving the residual income from the effort that I made in those first 90 days. So if there's something to be said about your first 90 days in this business, it could tee you up for the rest of your life. Anyway, long story short, I've traveled the world. I've been able to raise a family in this thing we call the Nikken Wellness Home, which is more than just the experience of the products. It's the idea that you can achieve a balanced life in each of those major categories: body, mind, family, society, and finances. And when I first heard those 5 words labeled as the 5 pillars of health as Nikken philosophy, I didn't know if that really had any meaning to me. It wasn't until I got further involved in Nikken that I realized it had everything to do with why I was doing Nikken. And to this day is why I still continue to be so passionate about my vocation with Nikken. The idea that we can help people refocus their lives with greater purpose and help them achieve strength and vitality in each of those 5 pillars in a balanced approach. Now, we've got a couple of guests on the call tonight or today who have had also incredible results with the Nikken experience. And I'd like to turn our attention now to Florida, where it's still warm and sunny, unlike Canada, where it's kind of cold and frosty. Actually, we had our first snowfall, real snowfall yesterday, so we're under a blanket of white here right now. But Susan, I saw your window and you got beautiful sunshine in Florida. Why don't you
share a little sunshine there with you? There you go.
There you go.
That's all you get.
Lifestyles of the rich and famous in Nikken. So Susan Carver, you're kind of rich and famous in Nikken. Why don't you share your story, please?
Well, thank you. First of all, anyone who's listening and watching, I appreciate your time. I didn't really have a nice story. They always let him go before me because my story is like, really? Well, okay. Aerospace engineer, I'm not sure I could even spell that correctly. It probably had an I in there instead of an E-R-O, but I started with a political science degree in college. I graduated from college. I got a job right down the road at the mouse, Mickey Mouse down there. And he thought with a college degree, I was worth $7.25 an hour. And it was interesting to work at a place where you couldn't afford to go on vacation. So that contrast really kept working and was a real way of getting me out the door and getting me to do something else and not get in that comfort zone of, oh, well, I got a job and I got some health insurance and, Disney's not going to go out of business and I'll just sit here and wait for someone to think I'm special or worth a raise or worth a promotion. So thank goodness it wasn't a really good experience because I realized I couldn't go on vacation properly of where I was working. And so I too had a product experience, but that's not really how I came to it. Because of my car accident, someone thought of me to then invite me to take a look at this because they knew that at the time I was not happy in my career at all. And I was going nowhere fast. And so it was a great opportunity to expose what this opportunity called Nikken is. And so when I saw the product line, Mike, my imagination, everything just surged. Before this call today, I just got on the internet a little bit to review what I was going to say because when I state a fact, I like it to be a true fact. When I started in this business years ago, there was 17 million diabetics in the United States. I just looked it up a few minutes ago, and there are now 30 million diabetics in the United States. So we've almost doubled our customer base potential. What do I mean by that? Well, in my shoes here, I have a product that launched the company, but this particular insole, this doesn't look very sexy. It doesn't look, oh, well, what is this thing that actually goes in your shoe? But when I saw those insoles and I understood that they actually help the body to help itself and that we had a semi-monopoly and it was a Japanese company and we had a problem, just one problem in health. There's many problems. There's fibromyalgia, there's osteoporosis, there's sleeping problems. In fact, the guy that came to look at my grass and give me a bid on my lawn care, he actually had surgery because the acid reflux had come up so bad that he'd actually lost his voice, and this is how he talks because of having to take out part of his throat. I mean, these are serious things. problems with carpal tunnel, etc. So when I saw that the company had some natural solutions, something as easy as something you can put in your shoe here, something that you can wear, something you can sleep on in my bedroom, something that I can drink over there on the counter. I don't know if you can see that with the water. I said, wow, this is an interesting concept. And so I jumped in like you did. I said, I can trust Japanese companies. They don't go out of business. I can make I know I'm worth more than $7.25 an hour. And I've got a product that is going to really empower and help a lot of people. And I don't have to be medical, because I'm not, but I can share the energy of magnetics and how it helps the body to take care of itself and self-care. And I can share that wonderful part of the sun out there, which is actually infrared, and help that's been captured in our products to help the body to thrive. And so I got the message real quick that the products are for people that want to practice prevention. I don't have these in my shoes, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm a diabetic. In fact, in my direct family, I don't have any diabetics. But I wear these as prevention because I want more energy throughout the day, and I want to have really good fluid movement and circulation in my feet. So I love the products, absolutely love the products. They're all over my house, not because I actually market them, but because they actually have a tangible benefit when I use them versus walking around for 6-8 hours a day without them. So that's really been my experience. And then, Mike, it took me a little longer. It took me about a year and a half to replace my income, and if that's what you want to call it, my sustainability. And then how did I do that? Well, by finding other people that said, wow, I like and trust Japanese products. Yes, I'm aware that a lot of health problems are going up and there's really not a solution. Wow, solution, problem, financial opportunity, work for myself, earn what I want to earn, live where I want to live, and make a difference in humanity with something with purpose. And so I found a few people. Ladies and gentlemen, that you're listening to me, most people are just going to be a customer. They're just going to hand you their credit card and say, I want that water, I want that shower, I want that bed system, I want this product, I want this product. Most people are just going to be a customer, which is fine. But I found along the way, Mike, a few people that saw what I saw and said, yeah, this is a good plan B. I can keep my job. I can do this on the side. And worst thing that can happen, I could add a few extra $100 a month to my income, take some of the stress off, or I could go ahead little by little and build it into something. So after about a year and a half, I was able to leave my job. And this is what I've been doing ever since. And it's the most rewarding thing. It fills my soul. If any of you out there are looking for a career that actually fills your soul and doesn't drain it or make you, question, well, my morals, my ethics, what's going on, or what am I really doing? This is a measurable difference career, and I'm just proud to be a part of it.
Susan, I have a quick question for you, because I mentioned the first 90 days, and there's a lot of people here who are maybe in their first 90 days or about to get started.
Okay.
If you had your first 90 days to do over again, what would you do differently? Or what would you have done differently starting today?
Okay. Well, real quick, let me start with what I did properly. What I did properly is I realized that these products is not a catalog business. I realized that these are products you have to put on people. I was over with my water bottle at a restaurant meeting with a new guy, and he was just kind of looking at me. A lot of people with social media and all the videos in YouTube, everyone's kind of that, yeah, I saw that cat video, or I've been there, done that. And they're always like, yeah. So I knew right then the guy was listening to me, but he wasn't all there. So I went ahead and I just took my water bottle and I went over and I put in tap water in my water bottle. And then I took tap water in a bottle and I just put it on his hands, the tap water, and I did a strength test with him, and he was very weak. And then I go ahead and take tap water, but it's been run through one of our products, put it on his hand, and he's strong as a horse. And he looked at me like, what? And now we've got a follow-up meeting. So what did I do right? I knew if you don't have these products on you or with you, you got nothing. Okay, that's very important that you capitalize your business. The products are a tax deduction. This time of year, everybody's looking for a tax deduction. So it's a great tax deduction, one of many, but the products, the samples themselves. And so you have to have the products. What I would have done, to answer your questions, what I would have done differently, is I would have been more coachable. I would have been on more calls like this. I would have been more trainable. I would have had more reverence for it as a career instead of, just kind of going out there and winging it, that there's a process of doing it correctly, getting started properly. And the other thing, I would have seen more people in a shorter amount of time. I saw a lot of people that first year. That's what allowed me to retire into this full time my second year. But if I had taken the amount of people I saw in that first year and I condensed it down a little bit, like maybe expose this to 20 people a month, then probably all the blessings that came would have come sooner. So that's probably the thing that I would do differently, is see more people, expose the products or the business to more people in a faster amount of time.
Excellent. Fantastic. Thank you. And I concur. One of the things that I think I did right at the beginning was that I exposed a lot of people. I had a list of 154 names.
Wow.
I didn't even get to all of them, by the way, that first month, but I did manage.
Can you send me the rest of your names and I'll call them?
I did manage to sponsor over 30 people in my first 2 months. And I think that was the key to that explosive growth that got me out of being an electrician and onto a path that has changed lives. So thank you, Susan Carver.
Welcome.
Now we're going to go all the way to the United Kingdom. I guess it's at late afternoon for you, Ben Woodward. Why don't you share your story with us, Ben?
Yeah, sure. I'd love to. It's sunny out there in Florida, and it's pitch black where I am. It went dark about 4 o'clock this afternoon. So, yeah, very different climate over here. Yeah, my story is very different to everyone else's that's been on the call today, Mike and Susan's. I started out working within the corporate office at Niken. My background as a career has been in the network marketing industry as a corporate executive. I've been a general manager for the UK and the Irish markets for a multi-billion-dollar MLM. I've been a regional director for another multi-billion-dollar MLM. And I moved over to Niken. I've sat on the board of directors for the trade association, the direct selling association that governs our industry in the UK, and also on a CEO council for the European trade association. And that's given me some wonderful insights and perspectives. Certainly a different perspective, I think, from many others that come in from different industries. But I came into Niken. I was their managing director for a little while over in Europe, and then came over to the United States and to their head office in California, where I was the global president. And it was fascinating. I absolutely loved this business. I joined from that perspective for the same reason that I jumped into the field, for the opportunity to reach out and touch as many lives as I could, because I wholeheartedly believe in the cause that we're involved in. You know, the critical thing that we talk about, and for those of you that are new to Niken, you'll notice that we do frequently reference this talk by Simon Sinek. It's either a book of his or it's his TED talk.
Yep.
Of Start With Why. What is your overwhelming, compelling why? Because at the heart of that drives everything else. If you have a strong why, you'll always find a how. And I think that's really, really important for us to consider. It's important to be coachable, as Susan said, and to be teachable and responsive to instruction in a new environment in order to get the best out of it. And when you've got a strong why, then you'll always look for the answers. The answers are there. The answers are there. And so for me, when I was in the office as president, there were some changes that were made. There was some direction in the business, which was implemented. And what I wanted to do was put my money where my mouth was, kind of jump into the field and work the strategy from the ground up. And that was daunting. I have to say, I know others have said they didn't like their previous jobs. I've loved my profession. I've loved my career. It's brought me to where I am now, and I'm really grateful for that. But And interestingly, I didn't even see it as resigning. I almost saw it as an extension of my job to go out into the field and keep doing what I was doing. It wasn't until I had to hand in my key to the office and my company credit card, and then everyone in the office got together and said, farewell, and gave me a farewell cake, that I realized, wait a second, I really have quit my job. What have I done? What have I done? But what's really important is my wife and I had a lot of discussions over this. You know, we're jumping into the field, and becoming a distributor was a huge move for us. We're a family of 9. We're a single income family, meaning we rely 100% on NICAN to provide financially for our family. And that was a huge decision for us to say, we're going to jump into the field and be distributors and make this work. But we did it because I have total confidence in the field. To me, this was an expression and a huge vote of confidence from me in the organization, that together we can work to make something even better. And I wanted to work arm by arm. I've been in Susan Carver's, in that living room where Susan Carver is sat right now. And we've done presentations together in her house. And that's been one of the highlights of my experience, to be able to sit there in people's homes and do presentations, especially when they share the fire and passion, like people like Susan does. I was in Brighton last weekend with Mike. He flew over from Canada, and we were doing team events with my team in the UK. Had a fantastic experience. We've been in multiple countries together, Mike, haven't we? Kind of been all over the show, building the business. But you get to change people's lives. The big takeaway from me, if you were to say, what's really important in this call today for me to consider, it's something that Mike and I talked very heavily on in the south of England last weekend in our meetings. There is a difference between making a decision to making the decision. Yep. Yeah. You can join the business, sign that agreement, and say that you've made a decision because you've signed the agreement. Right. But it will have a very different impact on your life and on the outcome of your business if you change that decision to the decision. You know, the word decide literally it comes from a Latin word decidere, which literally means to cut off. To cut off. When we make a decision, we cut off alternatives.
Right.
It means, now what alternatives do we cut off in this context of making a decision to be with NICAN? We are not saying that when you get started, you immediately cut off your other employment, that you immediately cut off all of your other responsibilities in life in order to succeed. We're not saying that. We pursue multiple income streams. We think that's wise. We think that's prudent. We want you to manage the balance with those 5 pillars of health that NICAN advocates of a healthy mind, body, family, society, finances. What do we cut off? We cut off the alternative of quitting. We cut off the alternative of giving up or of giving in. We cut off the alternative of failure. We eliminate them. We say, when I've made the decision, that stuff doesn't make up my NICAN business.
That's right.
This is it. This is it. And what happens then as a result is you'll continue to go through the challenges and the ups and downs that every other business builder goes through, but you'll come out the other side stronger. You'll analyze them. You'll say, well, how can I respond to that challenge differently? How can I become better as a result of this experience? And as a result, you'll move forward and you'll progress versus getting bogged down with a sense of defeat and despair. That's really, really important. I read the other day that great decisions come from experience, and experience often comes from bad decisions. Yeah. So there is a cycle here. But if you can have trust and confidence as you start out, that this can be one of the best decisions that you can make for your future, for your life, because you get to make a difference in a meaningful way in other people's lives. And you get to have that reflected back into your own in a way that brings you joy and abundance, balance and fulfillment. Then you will realize that this is worth fighting for. This is something that you can make that decision on and not quit, not give up on, not turn your back on and say, I tried. Yeah. It's you do or do not, but don't try. You make the commitment and you move forward. And that in itself will give you all the answers. If you get stuck on anything, when the decision is made, you find the answer. You'll learn to ask. You'll reach out. The great thing about Nikken is you've got so many people in your business that are here to help, that are here to give you direction and support, to be that coach, to be that mentor, to be that friend, to be that person that goes, I've walked a few steps ahead of you on this journey, and I get where you're at because I've been there. And if they haven't been on that particular path, they'll know someone that has, and they can pull them in, and they can give you that unique personal experience that will help you through that journey to get you to your end result. Because when we focus our efforts on helping others to achieve and to win and to succeed, then we win and succeed as a byproduct. And that, I think, is one of the really unique advantages of this business, is that it is founded upon one of those universal laws that success ensues. It's not something you pursue, it ensues, like happiness. If you try to pursue happiness, it often evades you. If you pursue doing what's right, happiness, abundance, and success will follow as a consequence. And that's the way this business is built. So make the decision, go all in, and you'll be blessed and rewarded, I think, wonderfully as a result. And these last 3 years that I've been in the field as a distributor, it has been an absolutely rich and rewarding experience, which I wouldn't trade for anything. I'm really, really glad that I've been able to make this choice and be up to my neck in it with everyone else, building the business and marinating in this great opportunity. So back over to you, Mike.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you. I guess I just wanted to make the comment that, you've been in the field just the last 3 years, and people looking at this today versus when I got started 27 and a half, almost 28 years ago. Why now? What's so important about what we're doing today relative to when it was first introduced to the market? And I think that's a really important question to ask. If you, one of the things about the Nikken philosophy is, regardless of how long Nikken is on the planet, that philosophy is relevant. So there will always be relevance in the reason we do what we do. As far as our technology goes, well, when is water going to become redundant? It's never going to become redundant. It's one of the needs for our healthy and abundant life. So our Nikken products, our technology, where we've positioned ourselves in terms of the solution is a solution that is not temporal. It's not something that's just here for a moment or a blink of an eye. It's a lifelong thing that's needed. In fact, so much so that it's generational. I'm happy to report that this week I spent some time with my daughters, Sophia and Savannah, discussing over dinner how they're going to approach the Nikken business, because they're now 19 and 20. They're in university. They're still pursuing their interests in university, but they see the need for what it is that we're doing among their peers. And they want a way to discuss this to that generation. So what we have here is an opportunity that is not limited by how long Nikken's been in business. It's limited by the need for the opportunity, which is endless and generational. So I think it's hugely important to know, relatively speaking, that if you're just getting started today, what an opportunity. It's more relevant today, the need for what we do, the need for these products, the need for this focus towards health and well-being and balance and self-care is much more relevant today than it was 20 or 30 years ago when I was first introduced to this. Final words, Susan.
Well, and just to build on that point, again, I put my name on an application. There were 17 million diabetics in the US. Now there's 30 million. So that's your point. And that's from the CDC. That's not a number I plucked out of the air. That's from the CDC of the United States report. There are now 30 million diabetics in the United States, and I don't see it slowing down. So yes, that means that if you just look at that number, then that means that the relevancy of Nikken is actually doubled since you and I got started, Mike.
Good point. Ben, final words.
I would say that this question of why now is huge. I didn't get my opportunity 27 years ago like you did. I got mine 3 years ago. Yeah. So, and people that are in the room today for the first time, you're getting it today. Yeah. So what is the relevance? The relevance is it's your now. Yeah. It's not anyone else's now. It's not Nikken's now. It's yours. The horse of opportunity is running past your gate now, and you choose to jump on or not. It'll just keep on going. Yeah, you've got to be ready to jump on and take that opportunity when it presents itself. For Mike, it was 27 years ago. For Susan, how long ago was it for you, Susan?
23.
23 years ago. I'm an infant in this in comparison to you guys. But whenever
have you changed your nappy? Because that's what they call it in the UK, a nappy.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I'm hoping the average distributor works in the industry 10 hours a week. And I've been full-time since I started. So I'm hoping that technically I can multiply that a little bit to give me a few more years tenure. Okay. But because I've done far more than 10 hours a week. But my point is, everyone's opportunity is now. If you're joining for the first time, if you're coming in right now, this is it. This is relevant now. Not what happened 20 years ago or what might happen 10 years from now. It's now. It's all about seizing today. And that's why now is so important, because it's today.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to turn you back to your hosts. Have a great afternoon, evening, whatever that presentation you're at is where it's happening. And we're grateful to have been sharing these moments with you to share a little bit about our insights and experience with NECAN. So have a great day, great afternoon, great event.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.